right, well, I see I've still got a few people here left to talk to. Thank you for hanging in there. I'll go ahead with my story here. Assume you're the timekeeper? Okay. There's a sign on the wall of my favorite burger joint down in the valley that reads, "I want to die in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming and yelling like the passengers in his car." I have a hard time a lot of times when I'm on my motorcycle of staying awake in the afternoons. And I don't like to wake up going through the weeds at 60 miles an hour. So I have a couple of things that I resort to try and stay awake. I'll be singing at the top of my lungs inside my helmet, banging myself on the head just trying to stay awake. And one day I hit on the idea if I could do the hokey pokey on my motorcycle while I rode down the highway. I had to adapt the moves a little bit, but it generally kept me awake even though it drew some strange looks from passing motorists. Then one day while I was doing the hokey pokey going down the road, I had the really strange idea, had this vision of a whole group of motorcyclists going down the highway doing the hokey pokey in unison. As things turned out, I had the opportunity to see this happen. I was hanging out at the motorcycle rally up here in Senton one spring day with my friend Hooligan Hal. We were approached by three bikers from up the road in Papalote. They were from the motorcycle club Los Sopilotes, which if you speak Spanish means the buzzards, the turkey buzzards. Anyway, these Sopilotes, their names were Okie Dokie, Smokey, and Rattle. Got a proposition. They wanted to pay Hal and me to guide them on a trip down to Tampico. I love riding in Mexico and I really like the idea of getting paid to do it. But I saw my opportunity. I said, okay, I'd be happy to do it, but there is three conditions if you're going to ride with us to Tampico. First one, everybody has to wear a helmet all times on the motorcycle. Second one, no drinking till we're off the motorcycles at the end of the day. And the third one, in order to keep from getting sleepy and going to sleep on the road, we were going to do the hokey pokey. Well, they went along with the first two, but they didn't want to have anything to do with no hokum pokum. I managed to keep a straight face and convince them that this was going to be a deal breaker. They either agreed to do it or I wasn't going to go. Well, they finally agreed to it. They could see the wisdom of not waking up in the weeds doing 60 miles an hour. So a week before the trip was to start, Hal and I went over to the clubhouse in Papalote. Hal's here today. He's going to come up here and help me with this. And we're going to show you all how to do the motorcycle version of the hokey pokey. There's a couple of things you have to remember. One is when you say, you put your left foot in, you put it in the wind, you stick it out. And when you put it out, you actually pull it in out of the wind. When you do the hokey pokey, you're riding with your hands on your motorcycle handlebars. You can't let go of them, so you just kind of chicken wing with your arms. When you turn yourself about, you don't want to be turning circles on the bike, so you just kind of roll your shoulders. All right, so everybody has this. When the last line is when you say that's what it's all about, you slap your thigh twice, your chest twice, and you wind up banging your helmet. So I need y'all to help me with this, and I want to make sure that we can be heard by these sopilotes in Papalote. Okay, are we ready? Ready? Don't hokey pokey your neighbor. All right? Put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. I can't hear you guys. Do it yourself around. That's what it's all about. Put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Great. Thanks, Hal. Okay, well, the day came for our trip to Tampico. To get to Tampico, it's pretty easy. You just get on 77, you point your motorcycle south, and 500 miles, and about 10 hours later, you're in Tampico. So we took off. The last 50 miles going into Tampico are divided 4-lane highway, pretty flat, pretty straight, pretty boring. and I could tell the group was getting sleepy. So I said, it's time to do the hokey pokey. The signal was the old chicken wing. So I started this off. Well, it turned out that Smokey had loaded the song on his MP3 player, and he was blasting it out over the bike speakers, and there was about 15 of us riding down the highway to Tampico. I forgot to tell you why we were going. I'm getting ahead of myself here. They were chartering a new chapter, the Sopilotes, in Tampico, and our club wanted to go down there for all the festivities. That was the whole reason for the trip. So anyway, we're riding down the highway, hokey pokey blasting over the stereo speakers. All 15 of us are doing this in unison, heading down the highway, and my vision was finally realized. Well, we were getting some strange looks from passing motorists, and one car went by with a lady hanging out the passenger window, motioning urgently for us to stop. We pulled off the road, and she said, "What are you doing, the Macarena?" We said, "No, the Zumba." We said, "No, we're doing the hokey pokey," and we explained why. She got really excited. She said, "Man, driving sleepy in Mexico is a big problem. They're putting up billboards along the highways that say, 'No maneje cansado,' don't drive tired." She said, "It hasn't accomplished much. This is great. Can I film you all?" It turned out she was a reporter for a local TV station. Sure, why not? So she filmed us going into Tampico, and that night our buddies were out partying with their newfound biker friends. Hal and I are kicked back at the hotel watching TV. The news comes on, and the lead-off story is about the problems of driving tired in Mexico and how this group of gringo motorcyclists has come down with a solution to the problem. And they showed about 3 minutes of us doing the hokey pokey down the highway. Well, the next day, they had the commissioning ceremony for the new chapter, and we went out and started partying in all the bars afterwards. And it seems like the hokey pokey song by then had been loaded on every jukebox in Tampico and every karaoke machine in the town. They posted a video on YouTube, and it had about 50 or 60,000 views by then. So everywhere the guys went, Okie Dokie and Smokey and Rattle wound up having to teach the hokey pokey to these guys in the bars, sing it for them, teach them the words. By the end of the night, they were pretty hoarse, but they could do a raspy version in 3-part harmony. Next morning, Sunday, we were heading out, seriously short on sleep, and it seemed like half the town had turned out. And as usual, the folks from Mexico were having a lot of fun with things, and by then the group was being referred to as Okie Dokie, Rattle and Smokey's Hokey Pokey Karaoke Sopilote Moto Club de Papalote. Thank you all very much, and please remember, no maneje cansado. Thank you.